Hi, I'm Annmarie Kelly,
And I'm Joseph Eagle.
and we're the founders of the 5-Year Marriage. You know, we've been in confinement now, it's been 7 or 8 weeks now.
7 weeks.
And we are, like you are, at that point where we're not used to being together all day long, and we've been together 24/7 for all this time. It's not unusual for people to get on each other's nerves or to, just be annoyed with each other for maybe no real reason. But also there's a chance that you're finding that there's a gap in your relationship. Maybe you realize that you aren't on the same page anymore. You didn't notice it when you were both busy, but now you're together all the time and you're saying, there's a time that you can do it when this is over. You'll be able to reset your relationship, and I'll show you how to do that. But for right now,
Just take a deep breath.
yeah, take a deep breath. And we have 4 tips for you that should enable you to get through this time a little bit more easily.
Yes, and the first thing is be polite to each other. Thank you, please, excuse me. Just being polite does help.
Yeah, you were like that at the very beginning, and then, familiarity breeds contempt. You're with each other all the time, and you're like, oh, get out of my way, instead of saying excuse me. Or you belch or fart, you don't say excuse me, you don't say thank you. It makes a big difference. When you're nicer to the clerk at Wawa or at your local convenience store than you are to your spouse, that's not good. Being polite is a good first step. There's a woman who I interviewed several years ago who said, saying thank you, she practiced being polite for a whole month with her spouse. And in the very beginning, her spouse was shocked. It's like he wasn't used to that. But by the end of the month, he was reciprocating. So remember how you were at the beginning and be polite.
It's amazing how far being polite to each other will take the relationship. It makes it a lot easier to live with each other, especially during this pandemic.
The second tip is be grateful. That's different from saying thankful. When I say be grateful, what I'm talking about is noticing something like Joseph makes me tea. I'm so appreciative that he makes me a cup of tea, and he knows how I take it. He knows just how much sweetener to put in, just what tea I like. So saying, oh, I really appreciate that you do that for me, makes a huge difference. And look around. Your partner, your spouse does stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And you've just gotten used to it. Notice it and say thank you for doing it.
Yeah, Annmarie made a fantastic meatloaf. And I just told her I really appreciated the hard work you put into it, and it was very good. But saying thank you for making the meatloaf, I think she really appreciated it.
Yeah, and then that makes me more interested in making it again, because I think, yeah, because he liked it. I was like, oh, well, I liked getting that feedback, so, well, maybe I'll make that again. And of course I will, but getting that feedback puts me in a better mood to make it.
Yeah, and saying thank you, I think your partner, when she hears that, or if he hears that you're not taking him, or he feels as though, or your partner feels as though that you're not they're being taken advantage of, or they're being used, being used. And thank you really helps prevent that from having a partner having that feeling when they do something for you.
Yeah, that'd be grateful. Thank you is one thing, but being grateful, being specific about what you're grateful for, that makes a huge difference.
Yes.
So then the third thing is to make agreements and be clear about them.
Yes.
It's not like, yeah, I guess I could do that. No, make a clear agreement and write it down. In 5-Year Marriage, we talk about family meetings, and in family meetings, you're always writing your agreements down because you get busy. You forget, you get tired, you get bored, whatever, and then you don't do it, and that makes the other person feel like you don't care. So make agreements and write them down. Even if you just have a thing on the refrigerator and just write it down so that you both are remembering it.
Yeah, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So just write it down, and if it's write it down, like in my case, if I see it, I know it will get done because I won't forget it. I won't have an excuse.
Yeah, that's true,
Because I
and me
forget.
too. So, and another thing is to set boundaries.
Yes.
Sometimes people don't realize how far, when we started the quarantine, the very first day was really fun because it was like we were off. It's like being on vacation. But I am used to working from home. Joseph isn't. And so the first day was fine. The second day was like, oh, I could be doing this. By the third day, I thought, okay, we have to have a conversation this weekend because I have things that I need to get done for my work, and we can't, this isn't playtime. And of course, back then, we didn't know this was going to extend for such a long time. And on the other hand, Joseph, and so we did have that conversation. And he also said, since he isn't doing his regular work and he plays the guitar, he wanted a certain amount of time every day to practice playing guitar. So those were things that, okay, that was his boundary.
Yes.
So that makes a big difference when you're very clear about your boundary, then the other person respects that.
Yes, if you need time away, tell your partner that. So they know, because if you don't talk about your boundaries or what you want done, how can your partner know? So it's also, you want to make sure you, in a nice way, to let them know about your boundaries.
Yeah, I have a boundary. Nobody's allowed to yell at me. I'm a full-grown woman. Nobody's allowed to yell at me. So if Joseph and I are having an argument and his voice goes up, he doesn't even know sometimes, like, stop. You're yelling at me. No, I don't mean to, but he was just being excited in the way he was expressing himself. It sounded like yelling to me, makes me feel uncomfortable, stop. So he knows that's a boundary. So,
and I've learned to low down my volume. I'm actually taking lessons to talk better, and sometimes I don't know that I'm talking loud. So she has to remind me of that.
So, and this is an extra tip. This is a COVID quarantine special. Get out of the house for a sanity drive. We've been doing those every couple of days. We go and we just get lost someplace. We go someplace and we do it together because it's relaxing for both of us, but maybe you just need to be apart. So one of you takes a sanity drive. If you have kids, somebody stays with the kids. And you just get that time to just free your mind.
Yes.
Whether it's just driving down the road or driving through the country or just going someplace where you just need to be by yourself for 15, 20 minutes. That's really important. We find sanity drives to be very helpful for us.
Yes, very helpful.
So those are five things that you can do right now that will lay a good foundation for your relationship reset. And when I talk about that reset, just remember, everybody needs to do that reset every once. It's like, when you're on your computer and you have to refresh your page. Well, that's what this is like, a relationship reset. And I'll tell you more about that as if you go to 5yearmarriage.com, you'll find the information about the relationship reset, which this isn't the time to do it because nerves are raw. You don't want to do it right now, but you want to talk about maybe that you can do it later. And then you'll be able to have instructions for doing that.
So during this, the social distancing and with this pandemic, remember to be polite, be grateful, make clear and written agreements of things you want your partner to do, either as a couple, as individual, and set boundaries, and also get out and enjoy
take
the
a sanity
countryside.
drive.
Take a sanity drive. They do help.
So that's what we have to tell you today. Good luck with the rest of this quarantine, and we'll talk to you another time.
See you later.
Jen's on.